The reason why an avoidant prefers a toxic relationship over a healthy one is because they essentially have, through their upbringing, looked at what love is in a twisted way. This typically is due to how their caregiver has essentially expressed that love to them, right? The caregiver did not show them the love that they were expecting or met their emotional needs, and they showed them a different and more kind of twisted way of what love really is. So because of this, that avoidant has looked at the things that that caregiver did to them to show them love as what love really is. So as they essentially grow up, they begin to kind of construe and manipulate what that love really is, or they essentially have a more apprehensive view as to what legitimate love is because they never experienced it, and they try to avoid that real love because they say, well, that is essentially what I never got to experience, so that is something bad. I need to look for something else that's real and what is genuine to what I feel is real love. So because of all of that going on, they essentially gravitate more towards a toxic partner because they show those traits that they were accustomed to seeing, right? The toxic partner is someone that is going to make them feel safe because this is something that they're used to. They're used to someone not expressing love and being open with them and vulnerable and all these different things. So when they're in a relationship with that toxic partner and they're doing those things that would typically cause anyone who wasn't an avoidant to say, hey, this is not a relationship I want to be in. And they essentially will walk away from the relationship because they know that this is not for them. But the avoidant will stay because this gives them not only the safety to feel like they're actually getting love from that person, but they also feel like they don't have to do the things that they would normally have to do in a healthy relationship, which is be vulnerable or dealing with conflicts to grow within the relationship. They don't want to do that, and they know that this toxic partner is not going to push them there, right? If anything, they're going to make them feel legitimate for the way that they are as an avoidant. Because when that toxic partner does something in a negative way towards them, that gives them an excuse to be distant from them, to not get emotionally close to them. And they look at them and can legitimately say, like, this is the reason why I'm so distant. And they feel good about it because they know that if anyone else was in a relationship, they would say the same thing. But the difference between anyone else being in that relationship who's not an avoidant and the avoidant is that the person who was not an avoidant would walk away, right? But the avoidant stays because, again, this reinforces those things about them as an avoidant that they want to stay in. Essentially, toxic relationships to them feel like home. It feels safer to them than being in a relationship that is healthy for them because a healthy relationship is going to challenge them. It's going to challenge them to be better. It's going to challenge them to open up and express emotions because that's what a relationship is for, right? You both are growing and you're navigating this life and having experiences and experiencing all different emotions together, but they don't want that. They are essentially wanting to push away from something like that because they don't want to deal with all of that. They don't want the conflict. They don't want the vulnerability. They want to just simply be the way that they are and stay that way. So this tends to be very frustrating for someone who has gone through a relationship with an avoidant and they were trying to do everything that they could to show them love and appreciation and that they cared and all these different positive things that you would normally experience in a healthy relationship that they acted so negatively to, but yet when they saw the relationship with the toxic person, they're sitting there seeing them as a whole different person. It seems like they're wanting to actually try in the relationship or they're staying longer. Like, it doesn't make sense to you, but I'm hoping that you can see now why this is going on. And this is something that's not going to last, right? They are going to get to a point where they're going to pull away completely because typically toxic relationships are not going to last for all of the obvious reasons that we all know. It's important for you to realize that it's nothing to do with you. It's not because you aren't lovable or whatever you're telling yourself. This is simply to do with how their attachment style is. And although it may be very frustrating to see this, it's important for you to take this for what it is as evidence that you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on what you need to do to heal and move on from this relationship because that avoidant partner needs to figure it out for themselves and work through this and process it if they ever want to get to that point. But you are not going to change that. They're the only person that's going to be able to change it. But again, the thing that you can change and do right now is to prioritize yourself and figuring out what you need to do to heal from this. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.